Hello, everybody! Happy Tuesday! And welcome back for another episode. If not now, when? Today, I am so beyond excited. You have no idea. I have my dear friend CS Freeland join the show. And let me tell you a little about CS. Dan, she is a badass.com. She is a serious entrepreneur and start two businesses during this pandemic time. She is a co-founder of ATX KIT. She also launched the Founder House Austin. She has been part of several angel network, the early stage venture, the informal investment club, and so much more. With that, I am so excited to welcome CS. Thank you so much to the show. We are so excited.
Yes, this is going to be fun. I had so much fun having dinner with you the other day. So this is going to be awesome.
Amazing. So take us back, CS. How does all that magic get started?
Well, I guess... Wow, I'll go way back. I was going to start with like moving to Austin, which I did 10 years ago. But I would say, I used to be in band, and I was very shy, like in high school, and band was like my whole life. I was a band nerd, like for sure. And although I was shy, I was able to like communicate through music, and I had some musical talent. I don't play anything anymore, but I used to play drums and piano and stuff. And so I think that I exactly, yeah. Like 94 pounds, like trying to wear this huge drum and like march around on the football field and stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like my whole life, and I felt like I was able to communicate myself and what I thought the music should be to others. And I think that, they really enjoyed it, and I had a talent for it. So I went on to become like drumline captain and held some kind of leadership positions. And I found a lot of strength in that, and people like, really connected with that too. Whereas like, if I was just on my own, I'd just be really shy and I wouldn't know what to say, but I could communicate through music. And so I think that's kind of helped me along, in my journey, and just to have confidence in myself, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what kind of concept I'm trying to launch, no matter what city I'm in. So I think that's kind of where it got started. But then I moved to Austin, started working at a small project management kind of software company, like 20, 30 people or so. And they kind of let me do whatever I want to in terms of launching new marketing initiatives and just programs and maintaining everything, communications about the company. And I got to work with pretty closely with the GM and the CEO and like all the, because they're like, right there, they're so accessible. And it made me feel like I was valued and heard and everything. And then I started working at a tech venture studio, which I'd been with for 7 years, and do the same thing. Yeah, that's a good question, because I realized, because I was like 21 or so, I had so much energy and so much like creativity that I wanted to bring to the company. I would like sell my soul for this company, and I realized it's kind of more of a lifestyle business. And I was like, oh, I should go into startups. Like, and it was very family kind of feel, which was so great. And I loved that. But I was like, I really should be looking into startups where like they need super passionate people, and they want someone who can work, from 9 to 9 or something like that. Just work all the time and bring a lot of creativity and passion and go as far as each individual can go, like really push it. So that's why I started getting into startups. And I think it's just never left me. I mean, I love that stuff. And that's just like who I am as a person. I considered myself as a startup, I consider myself as someone wwho can pivot and try something new and all that stuff. So yeah, 7 years at the venture studio, and come March 2020, I pretty much like dropped everything. I was like on this venture capital trajectory, and I was also doing fellowships and getting a venture capital certificate and getting really plugged in to the early stage venture scene. I dropped everything.
Why?
Well, I felt like small businesses really need the help. I was living at Amley on Second, which is right in the heart of downtown Austin, and they had this really great farmers market that I could see out my window every Saturday morning. And it's usually a very energetic, like fun thing to do, like go to the farmers market, like bring your dog or like kids, there's live music. It's like this whole thing. But in March, it was also really rainy, you know, it was like terrible weather. And then like the world was starting to shut down, you know, it was a really scary time.
For everyone.
Yeah, for everyone. And we're, you know, everyone's scared. We're still in it, you know, everyone's scared of getting sick and, you know, people dying and stuff. And anyway, so what I would do is I would go down to the farmer's market with my like little cart and buy up like thousands of dollars worth of shelf stable goods from the farmer's market vendors. And I would bundle them up together and then ship them everywhere. In fact, the first bundle or kit that I shipped actually went to New York. I didn't really try to promote. I was doing like a soft kind of opening or soft launch for ATX KIT is the name of the company. But the first order came in and it was going to New York, and I didn't even have all my tax stuff together, or like I basically kind of broke even. I didn't make any money on that one because it's like going all the way to New York. It's like $20 to ship. I don't even think I had my tax stuff together online through Squarespace. So like just anyway. And also that month. Oh, what?
I'm curious in that month when everything's shutting down and you are in this trajectory of being a VC, and that's a completely different world. Was that a difficult decision for you to drop everything and now pivot and focus on this challenge you are seeing and you want to solve?
No, it wasn't hard at all. Well, actually I had the idea for ATX KIT a year before, almost exactly a year before. I bought the domain name in March 2019, and I pitched this idea in the venture studio and like other entrepreneurs around me in the office. I was like, hey, there's so many people moving to Austin. That was even back then. Now it's like going crazy, but there's so many people, like 100+ people every day. And local, like small businesses aren't really seeing the effects of that. So maybe if it was easy to make one purchase and you could support 10 different local small businesses, then why not? That should totally be a thing. And food is such a big part of culture, but food is such a big part of the culture here in town as well. And, you know, you could get, you know, for $60, you can get all these really great foods and get like a taste of Austin right to your doorstep. And so to your point of saying, you know, going from venture capital back into entrepreneurship, that wasn't hard for me because I had started other concepts before. I've worked with some really world-class entrepreneurial teams. And I just felt it. I was like, this is it, man. Now it's like go time. And the world needs this more than ever. People who can jump in. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but I think that we need to be solving problems quickly, like fast, like go. You know, I have like this coach in my head. It's like, run, go, quickly, move, faster, and like kept me going. Yeah.
I love that, CS. You know, I love that during that time when everything is shutting down and there's so much negativity out there, you were just focusing on how can I solving problem, how can I supporting the local entrepreneurs, how can I bring the taste of Austin to others. I think that is such a beautiful insight. I think that is really what helped you to have such incredible success today with ATX KIT.
Thanks. Well, yeah, we need it more than ever. And another thing I noticed was that there's so many forced closures that happened with small businesses. Even my mentor, Ying McGuire, she is the owner of investor turned owner operator, of a boutique hotel here in downtown Austin. And she had to remain closed for hotel guests for like months. So I pitched her this idea like, hey, I was paying kind of expensive rent at Amley. And I was like, although it did, my view and everything was really great. It helped me actually start ATX KIT. But I kind of saw a trend of like, oh, well, if everything's going online, a lot of entrepreneurs or digital nomads and, contract, people, they can work from anywhere. Remote work will be a thing. So I think the venture capital mentality, like where the trend's going to be also coupled with like an entrepreneurship quality in myself. I'm like, okay, here's where we're headed. Here's what we need to build right now. Or the other way around, like we're building this right now. Like pretty much the world has been expedited. Like things were headed a certain way and they're going to go that way no matter what. But everything has just been accelerated this year. So yeah, I pitched the idea of a short-term co-living kind of co-op situation in my mentor's boutique hotel. We're all going month to month. She spent so much money and time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears getting this together to launch for South by Southwest, which is supposed to be the biggest economic driver and fun party in the city. That was the first major hit, blow to this to the Austin economy. And she had all the rooms booked up, and she's gonna launch her business, open the hotel for them, and had to return all the money and everything. And I mean, now the rest is history. But yeah, so we've had 5 people so far living here, and we call it Founder House, is like the pop-up co-living sort of thing we started up. And the hotel still operates with some guests. We get guests a couple, like maybe every weekend or so. So that keeps it interesting. But there's only 12 units, so it's pretty small. It's a close-knit, intimate little group we have here, and that's what I've been up to.
Beautiful. Well, I've been there. It's gorgeous, guys. So if you visit Austin, that's a great place for you to go visit as a Miss Yes in person. And I'm curious, yes, after this point, you wear your problem-solving hat the whole time. Almost sounds like doesn't matter what happened to you, you always very quickly think about how can we pivot, how can we create, how can we innovate, how can we get out of the situation. Were you always like that? Or how did you become who you are today?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I could just see things that other people weren't seeing. I just never would speak up about it. Like I would see that we should do things a certain way, or here's how we can improve small things, big things. And then I just wouldn't say anything about it, and just like, because I was too shy. Or someone else, or like even in meetings, for example, or someone else would say the thing that I was going to say.
I know.
And then and all the way up to companies too. I'm like, oh man, I had this idea for a business that can solve this problem. I just never did anything about it. And then, other people get the credit. Other people go and solve the big problems, and they're working on interesting stuff. And I would just see them do it. And I'm like, so what am I doing? That's even worse. It's like, it's worse than not knowing or not seeing is actually knowing and then never doing anything about it. And I was like, oh, that's got to change, because I'm just going to be upset at myself all the time. So I think that's kind of where it stems from.
So how do you change?
I've just been really fortunate to be working with people who I wouldn't say are fearless. They still, they know they're tackling some big issue, but they're just go-getters. They go for it, and they don't care what people say or think, you know, about them.
So
And I
beautiful.
think, yeah, and they make a choice, they make a decision, and then they go for it. The same thing, I actually just changed my name on all my online and social media stuff. And I'm like, I can sit and think about this. Like, I've been sitting and thinking about changing my name to CS for 2 years now. And then it wasn't until this morning, and I knew we were going to have this live podcast and YouTube, you know, broadcast. And I was like, if not now, when? So I'm like, we just gotta do, because also I'll just say this. CS, like Christa's my first name, Sue is my middle name. And I just thought, you know, our names are given to us. It's like, I don't know, I like being proactive. I like making a choice, deciding for myself what I'm gonna be, what do I look like, how do I respond, what do I want in my life, all these things. And changing my name just kind of reflects really like who I am. Anyway, so
tell us, what is CS? Who is CS like?
oh my God. I think it kind of stems from, I can't believe I say this, but like, so I went to Burning Man like 2 years ago. And at Burning Man, you know, that thing in the desert, there's like 80,000 people go to a desert in Nevada for 2 weeks or a week or whatever. And it's like camping, but there's these huge art projects, and there's like DJs and music, and you can dress however you want to. Like, it's very intentional. You watch a city come up and down over a span of 2 weeks. And you can change anything. You could be whoever, whatever you want to be out there. And it's very intentionally living with intent. And you're in an environment where everyone is encouraged to be like that. And I'm like, wow, why are we not like that in the default world? We're in this like little play world, but that should be the real world. You know what I mean? So, and you don't really go by your actual name. You don't bring your name with you. You're kind of like, people help give you a name, or you become something else. So I know we're not supposed to really talk about it, but like, my nickname or whatever at Burning Man is Pickle, because I love pickles. I packed two jars of pickles with me on the flight over, which I double bagged it in my suitcase, but exploded everywhere. So I smelled like pickles. I smelled like pickles for 2 days. But even when I'm out there and I'm like introducing myself as Pickle, people love it. You know, they smile and they're like, oh, Pickle. You know, so that's like my fun, whatever, creative side. And then CS is like my go-getter, will stop at nothing. Also like a creator, like creative. And it's just, I just really identify with that. And also, beautiful. I guess one last note on it is like, our digital selves supersede our physical self. Like, I can do way more online and have that scalability or reach or whatever than I ever could just as myself, you know, Christa, one person. And if you want to change your life, it's as easy as, you know, change your Instagram or your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your website or whatever. And changing your life can be easy. It's whatever you think it is. So that's why I wanted to do it.
I love that you're so intentional about who you are, who you want to become, and really embracing that and not second down yourself. That's amazing.
Thanks, girl. Thanks.
Amazing. Now I want to pivot a little bit, CS. Now along the journey, you are a serious entrepreneur, right? You are in many startups as a co-founder member, and now started 2 ventures this year. Is it always like smooth sailing, or is there a time that could be challenging? I'm curious.
No, it's mostly really difficult. It's fun to do interviews and stuff like this. It's fun. You get press and you get recognized for hard work, but it's mostly really confusing. It's a lot of work because I guess you got to be really self-motivated. There's no one guiding you. You just got to like follow your heart or your mind, your brain or something, and constantly learning. So it's a big challenge, but I'm down for that. I mean, I just,
Why?
if I made $1 million a year, or I don't make anything, I would just be doing the same thing. What else would I do? I don't know. I'd be the same way.
What motivates you? What drives you?
I think stories like yours, like a plane leaving, you're supposed to be on that plane. I mean, that's a very truncated version of your story. Super. It's honestly stories like yours. There's like, I don't know, not to be too trippy or whatever, but I believe we kind of we are everyone and everyone is us kind of thing. I see a part of myself in you, and I think you invited me on the show because you see a part of yourself in me. And whether that's big or it's small, there's like this connection. And I don't know what that is, like energy, vibration levels or something. And so I hear other people's stories and I'm like, that's me too. So I have to show up for them and they're going to show up for me, and we'll build and create together. We're making our own world, and this world is our world. I don't know.
It's so beautiful.
That's why you were telling me your story. I had to reach out.
Hello? Oh no, I think she is freeze. Let me testing her very quick. Oh well, technology happens. Oh no. Okay, all good. This is all part of the experience. Let's see. Well, in the same note, happy Tuesday, everybody. As you can tell, technology have a little seconds of the hiccup, but it's all good. Okay, perfect. Just test her, just email her. She's gonna be back momentarily. Whew. But in the meantime, I really love what Sia said earlier. She sees we are all together. When she is inspired by all other entrepreneurs' story, she just want to be part of their energy to support their business and help them go to market. And that is what inspired her, be part of the venture. And today she is such an incredible serious entrepreneur, start her business this year, and she is refreshing her screen. So it's all good. Oh my goodness. Of course it's gonna happen. While we are here, she is back.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
I hear you very well. You look great too.
Okay. Well, let's see how this goes.
Christa is back! It's okay. You were saying...
phone, so I don't know how it's going to be.
Actually, the sound quality is pretty good. Don't worry.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually not wearing it's not connected to my AirPods. Should I try to do that?
No, this is all good. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, we're just going to roll with it.
Let's roll with it. It's like entrepreneur world, right? You just have to roll with the punches and see what happens.
I like it. Sorry about that.
All good. All good. The magic always happens on Tuesday. So you were saying earlier about you see all of us are one story together.
Yes. I don't know if I was going off on a tangent with that, but that's just the way I feel, you know. It's a connection, you know, I think that we had, and we see that, you see that with your, you know, everyone else that you put on the show, and you want to share those stories and accentuate that, because it's like a part of you, you know. It's a part of the dream, which is, you know, what is reality? What's a dream? What's reality? You can dream it up and you can create it in your life. So
I love that.
Yeah, that's just what I think.
So beautiful. And sis, you know, I want to pivot a little bit about our questions. And you know, oftentimes it's so easy for us to people to look at, oh my God, you are so successful. Oh my God, you are so incredible and genius, all that stuff. But we don't really talk about failure enough. Can we take a second to talk about, you know, did you fail in the past, or is there one of the largest setbacks that you might have that you can share that help, you know, shape who you are today?
Yeah, I don't really, maybe it sounds cheesy. I don't believe in failure. I don't.
Tell us more.
I think that it's just a part of the journey, and it might feel like a setback at the time, you know, for like maybe a day or an hour or a couple of minutes or whatever, but I try not to linger on that stuff, because you just don't, that's just so, how presumptuous is that you think that that's a failure, you know, that something went wrong? How do you know it's not right? So that's what I think, but I could talk about.
So the reason I asked for that is I feel like sometimes people fall into a situation where they beat themselves up, or they felt, oh damn, this is such a failure, or I felt so embarrassed, or whatever the emotion come to their mind, and sometimes people get stuck. They don't know how to move forward. So when I ask someone like you who start so many ventures, have been through so many things, and how do you get up when the moment was hard? And how would you advise for other, you know, fellow entrepreneurs or people who are also in their trenches? How can they move forward?
Well, I'm kind of learning that this year too, but to be kind to yourself. I know maybe that's like contradictory what I was saying earlier. I have like a football coach in the back of my mind saying, "Go, move quickly, faster, faster." But I like how we just like start dancing too. I should like ask one of my DJ friends to make a song or something.
Yes.
Oh, maybe that's the answer. We can make this song, and anytime we need like a pick me up, a pickup, or a song. Yeah, but it's also like being kind to yourself. I had to take a break myself. I'm kind of like, I was a little bit in the chill zone, you know, the last 2 months. And I mean, honestly, I didn't have any time to process so when all the shutdowns were happening in March and April, that was like go time for me. So I came out of it like 4 or 5 months later thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm in the middle of a pandemic. And I just started registering it. So I think it was my time, you know, for that, like way later. Because it was just like,
you focus.
Yeah, you got to focus. You just got to go as fast as you can. And I think timing is everything. So I think I just kind of filed the like rope crashing and pandemic. I filed it away, and then was able to really feel it months later when, you know, if I had just sat there and like just, you know, doom scrolled through Facebook or whatever, then that would have sucked the energy out of me. I needed every ounce of energy to go push, you know, these the Founder House concept and ATX KIT. And I think that helping small businesses, again, with Ying McGuire, the hotel owner, and all the entrepreneurs that we worked with, now like 40 entrepreneurs, small businesses. Just knowing that we're like in it together. And I just knew like exactly what to do if we work together and, they're along for the ride, we're trying something new, then we could actually kind of prosper a little bit. We could do a little bit better than we could have individually. Right. So Ying gave me a good deal living here month to month. The vendors, they help promote ATX KIT. Obviously, when I make money, they make money. When more people know about ATX KIT, more people know about their products. So anyway, I think that was really helpful too. For a while, I only saw the vendors for I guess 2 or 3 months almost or whatever. I only saw them. So it was I feel like we had this really great connection. I made some friendships, and the products, the food, I love it. Some of the food, like a Moon Tower matcha, for example, or Stroop Club. I've been such a big fan of those foods, and it's really cool, meeting the people behind it. So
it's amazing.
Knowing that we're all in it together was really comforting.
I love that, when you look at the challenges, you're able to pivot and realize we're all in it together and we have so much power when we are collaborating and we are never alone. I think that is such a powerful message. And for people who are out there who are not as familiar with ATX KIT, can you tell us more about that and how can people find you?
Yeah, ATX KIT is a way to make one purchase, and you can support 10 entrepreneurs here in Austin, get a great bundle of food delivered to your door. A lot of people are buying them for gifts, and, that's a new hire, or your boyfriend or whatever gets a new job. Maybe they're not feeling well, they need some snacks to we have chocolate and some real great pick me up kind of foods. We have a work from home kit, so snacks that are great. You need a change of scenery, you don't want to get a food rut, so there's just new foods delivered to your door. And we also have a kit that supports all female entrepreneurs. So if you wanted to support females, there's a female kit. There's we're about to launch a BIPOC, so Black, Indigenous, people of color. If you want to support some
amazing
minority entrepreneurs. So yeah, and then holidays are coming up, so we'll do something around that as well. Anyway, so yeah, atxkit.com.
Beautiful. Do you see the difference when you were part of the firm to help support and go-to-market strategy with all other startups versus today you are the co-founder of the business that you are so passionate about? Is it a difference?
No,
is it a dream come true?
Really. Yeah, not really. Just because I guess I'm kind of used to running it. They let me do. They just let me do what I think should be done. They hired me and then got out of the way, kind of deal. So when I go off on my own, then it doesn't really feel that different. So I've been pretty lucky with that. And I've had a lot of support too. I just joined or was accepted into On Deck, which is call it 0 to 1 founders, super early stage, starting with a handful of people and early days of a business. So joined that community, and that's been super awesome, especially in a time when we can feel really disconnected. I feel like I'm still building with other. It's 200 other CSs. So yeah, that, and there's a pretty good entrepreneurial community in Austin too. So they're kind of, they say, you know, it's kind of, I don't know if you can, did yours
You're muted.
dark or?
You're muted.
Is muted? Can you hear me now? That is so weird.
Can you say something now?
Can you hear me?
We cannot hear you.
What about now?
What about now?
Let me try.
Yes, we can hear you. There she is gone. Oh, well. Happy. Everything is possible. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love Cia's story. She is just such a courageous soul. I have one last question for her, and I know she's going to be back momentarily. Let's see. Oh, in the meantime, we need to prepare. Those hiccups happens. Okay, let's see. And she's here. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's me. Oh, it's me.
Can you hear me now?
She is.
Oh my goodness. I just don't know what's going on. With
Okay.
internet,
People
so
say
bad.
FaceTime is a charm.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
So I have a last question for you, Cies. I think we talked about this in person. You are the first generation in America. I want to ask you about what's the American dream mean for you?
Well, what's an American dream for me? I mean, I was born in San Jose, California. You know, I'll say one thing. My mom's Vietnamese, and she came over to Bay Area like a couple days right before the Vietnam War broke out. And I just see like so much maybe of the success in my life. I have to kind of pay tribute to my mom, because she's like the firecracker in me. She's the go-getter, ambitious, always learning and improving. And I hear, yeah, I should actually tell her this. I hear her voice in my head sometimes, like, babe, if you don't play, you don't win, you know, stuff like that. And I'll hear it in these moments where I'm like, oh, like I'm feeling uncertain about stuff. So she's been such a great driver in my life. And her sisters, you know, my aunts, they all came over at that time, for the most part around that time. And they're all outstanding, amazingly strong women that have been such a big support in my life. I don't know if I feel really privileged, and I am very privileged. I feel like I always have their support. Maybe I wouldn't be able to take the risks that I do if I didn't have them, you know, backing me up. So I'll say that.
Is there a role model shape who you are today as a leader? Is a female leader that's so fearless?
I kind of think so, because they left Vietnam at such a tumultuous time, and it really shook everything up. And, you know, it was a war. So I think about that, and I'm like, wow, what a cushy life that I've been living. And sometimes I'm like, am I you know, creating too much trouble for myself, like starting these things. I think I know some of their story, and it just makes me feel like I can do anything. So I guess their American dream has helped inform my reality and my dreams. So
that's so beautiful.
Oh, I'm so going to send this to them. Wow. I've never told them that. I should say that.
Oh, oh. Well, we are so happy that you are here with us today, CS. You are so bold. You are so courageous. You always play full out. And if your mom told you you don't play, you don't win, well, I'm telling you, you are winning all the way. So, Yole, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Your story is beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us throughout this time. Third time is a charm, and we hope you enjoy the story. We hope you have a magical Tuesday, and bye.